All right, guys. This is a quick video. It's just to explain this assignment. I usually get a lot of questions about what's the right way to fill this in. First and foremost, this is just a note-taking strategy that's really designed to help you guys. So it makes it a lot easier by the time you get ready to write your essay, because you can just look back at your notes from each of these sort of authors and works and assess, what are the things that you want to talk about in your essay. So long story short, there's no quote unquote right way to fill this out, but you should be filling it out completely. So you should have entries with, a fair amount of information in every one of these boxes. What you don't need to do is worry necessarily about writing notes about every single work from every single author that we're going to read. So some of these are poets and they have multiple poems, or they may have multiple texts or letters or whatever it is that you're reading. So you don't need to write a note necessarily about everything. If there's someone who has seen multiple poems, I would say choose one or two poems that you may find useful to write about in your essay, and take your notes over those. But basically, you're just going to list the work or works that we're studying from those authors. And there's Franklin Jefferson Murray, a female poet of your choice. As you'll see that there's a list of options. Phillis Wheatley, Longfellow, and Poe. And then you're going to be looking at what are the specific elements related to the movement that they're associated with that we see in the text. And all of this is going to be coming from the lectures. So you'll be just taking notes from the lectures on these kind of topics. So again, just jot down some concepts or ideas. So what is it about Franklin's works that relates to the Enlightenment or Jefferson? Longfellow and Poe will be your Romanticism authors. And then what are some key literary elements that you want to make sure you notate so that when it comes time to potentially write an essay or another assignment on one of these, it's a lot easier and say, oh yeah, I need to talk about this this element or this element. So what are those elements? What notes do you need to know about them? So, what symbols does Franklin or Jefferson use? Why is it important? What's the imagery that, say Phillis Wheatley used? And then what is any biographical or historical context or information that's needed that's important about this author in relation to the work. So for example, Jefferson, what is it that's important about him? Or Franklin, what was happening in the historical situation around the Revolution that's important in relation to, say, as you're reading the Declaration of Independence from Thomas Jefferson, or Poe, you might write some information about the American Gothic. So there's a lot of information across these different works. I don't need you, again, to write down everything. It's just a note-taking strategy. I want to make sure it's useful for you guys, but just make sure that this is, pretty well filled in. I have something in every box, and you should be good as far as filling this out. So it will be a completion grade, so that's kind of what you need to do. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks.